Hello everybody, it is I, Darcy, joined as always by Kris.
Hello.
Hello Kris. And welcome back to the latest episode of the still unnamed podcast that we like to call the Unnamed Podcast.
Nice.
Where we sit here we sit here comfortably roughly for an hour.
That's true.
Roughly. And talk rubbish. Excuse me while I re-equip myself. Everything was off.
I'm aware.
Except the chains. The chains are on. I don't have hair in my eyes, as always. Fucking long hair. I'm not getting a cut. Don't tell me to, okay? I'll do...
Until the point he does get a cut.
I do what I like. And then I'll have no hair. I'll come back and I'll be a bald man. Just because I can. You know, I didn't lock my chair in and I didn't put my chair back up.
I feel like the first thing I'm going to do when you've got a bald head is just slap you in the back of the head.
I feel if you do that, you will have blue and black testicles.
I'm gonna have to make my way to a sports store.
Not sure how they're gonna help you with your testicles being inside your body.
Look, I'm thinking a cup might help slightly.
Right? Yeah, no, fair enough. Or if I kick you hard enough, it's just something else to crush against you.
Oh, yeah, good point.
There was a news story a long time ago, right? Like
a news story a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh wait, news. Oh, I thought you said new.
No.
Ah, yeah.
A news story a long time ago.
Yeah, that's why I was slightly...
When I say a long time ago, I mean like...
That's why I was slightly confused, because I thought you said news story a long time.
Like 5-6 years ago from Scotland, right?
Okay.
And the news story went something like this. I kicked a terrorist so hard in the testicles, I tore a tendon in my foot. Now...
It's pretty funny.
Oh, it is. It's hilarious. And that was the news story. So, you know, it was about a guy in Scotland who, did that to a man.
Obviously. Yeah.
But it does make you wonder how just how hard you've got to kick someone to tear a tendon in your foot.
Yeah.
I
imagine it's
now you can imagine that force in that part of the human anatomy.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything left?
Look, he's not reproducing. That's which is a positive, but it ain't happening. Anyway,
enough on kicking Kris in the nuts so hard that his testicles retreat. Let's talk about channel news. We're up to 20 subscribers at the moment. We are in the 20s.
Nice.
Much like us. So the channel is the same as us now. In its 20s.
Almost.
It's in its 20s. I'm in my 20s. You're in your 20s.
It's true.
I wonder if it'll get to 30 before me.
Ooh, you'd hope so.
It has a long time to go.
It does. It's got a while.
I'm putting my phone out of my pocket because I knew it was going to fall because of the way I'm sitting. So that's happened this week. That raft came out that we were talking about a couple of weeks ago or last week or whenever we were talking about it.
Yes.
That has come out.
Awesome.
What came out on Monday?
Don't push
know.
the button.
Don't push part 2.
Yes.
Please don't touch anything part 2.
That's the one.
Yeah. There is no part 3 of that yet.
We will work on it.
We will record that at some point in the future.
We need to figure things out.
Oh, we just need to actually do some work.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's just because we're stupid. And I make mention of that. I do.
I know you do.
I did clearly say we get less progress every episode in because the puzzles...
But it wasn't a lot less, so that's
the puzzles are getting harder, but we're not any smarter.
Well, yeah, because the first one we got all the obvious ones, and then the second part we got...
And the accidental ones.
Oh, there were accidental ones, yeah.
Like, literally, I think the first one we got was completely accidental. It was the one for actually waiting the amount of time for him to come back. Because we were just messing around, being dumb.
Yeah, and then it just happened.
And we were just like, hey, good work, I'm not touching anything. Hey, finger guns everywhere. And I was just like, oh, the man is back.
Yes.
I'm trying to think what else. I think I have 3 videos left, which is technically about a week and a half.
It is, yes.
But that's just the unedited stuff. So it's like, I have to start editing next week.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just thinking about the fact
You'd hope
that
you do next
technically
week.
I don't have to start editing next week. I have to start editing Tuesday the week after.
Yes, but ideally you'd start next.
Oh,
week,
ideally
so
I
you've got
want to
the head
have.
start.
Ideally, I want to have. No, I've lost the word
At
again.
least a week in
Yes.
the backlog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, ideally, I want to have I want to get back up to 4 weeks in the waiting,
Yeah.
so I don't have to edit all the time. It's not fun editing all the time,
No, I can understand.
and I like the fun. I like
Yeah.
that. It's also not fun when you have to edit. Let me tell you, when we did the Halloween stuff,
Oh yeah.
and it was next day turnarounds for some of those edits, that wasn't fun.
No.
Because that's you are sitting here, you have to get it done no matter what. You're sitting there until it is finished. Until it is finished.
That would have been rough.
Yeah, it was, especially for the
Dark Pictures anthology.
that one. Yes, that one.
The one that we were playing that I had to come back for.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we finished recording that
Yes.
the day before it was due.
Yes.
Then I had to spend the rest. I spent a lot of that night editing, and then a lot of the next morning editing.
Well, no, we finished it beforehand, but then there was a problem with it.
And then we had to
Then we had to re-record.
the day it was due, and then I pretty much got on editing that after you left, and then went to bed, and then got up and edited it even more.
Yes.
And it was I'm gonna finish this.
Oh yeah.
Other news, I am actually trying to get all the videos out at set times. So,
Okay, yes.
So now it's I used to have a philosophy of just comes out on the day. Although now I'm trying to be comes out about lunchtime on the day.
For us. Yes.
Well, for me.
Yes.
About 11:30 for most videos, except the podcast. The podcast is a 12 o'clock podcast and a 12 o'clock The podcast is a 12 o'clock podcast and a 12 o'clock...
Okay. We're waiting.
The podcast comes out at 12 o'clock because if we ever actually do go into live, that'll be when we're doing it.
Fair. Around lunch. Well, we're going to have to go live at least once.
The 100th.
Thought you said while we were... Snow trip.
No, I'm just not going to edit it.
You should not go ahead.
I'm not. I'm just going to record and post.
Okay. Except, we'll have another person in that podcast.
Maybe. He might be dead.
It's true.
It will be the last days of our time in the snow. There's a lot of time to kill yourself. I might be solo. Kris might have died at the top of a mountain and just buried himself in snow.
Could have.
What's the plan? Be found in the summer.
And they'll
What was
never
I
know
saying?
how long ago it was because I would have been frozen.
Fairly sure they'll be able to tell how long ago it was.
Yeah, no, they will.
Because they'll be like, okay, well, he definitely didn't die anytime recently. How can you tell? Well, he's wearing snow gear.
Okay, fair.
They go, okay, so let's go down to the resort and find out who didn't return their snowboard. Ah, Kris, who was there at this time.
Okay, fair. That's a fair point.
They're very intelligent.
Yes, that's a fair point.
Okay, well, that's not really intelligence. They're very... they follow procedure.
They do.
I bet I'm on another one of those mind blanks.
Yeah, you did. You
What
really
was I
did.
saying? Podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, no, 100 podcasts. I have to do some checking, but right now I'm gonna go on record and say I'm fairly sure it was either our first or second podcast that I talked about having a mustache.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I want to check if it is our first podcast or our last. Or no, wasn't our last podcast.
Nope.
You saw me. I
First
didn't
or
have a
second?
mustache. First or second. Yeah, possibly third, but I'm fairly sure
Possibly. It was early. It was
it
very
was
early.
very early on. And I'm like, if it was our first for the 100th, me and you definitely mustaches only.
Oh god, I hate that look.
And you would do it too. You would, because it would be funny.
It would, wouldn't it?
It'd be very funny for me. I get to see his chin. It's such a weak chin.
You've seen my chin before?
Yeah, I know, and that's why I know it's weak.
Fuck off.
No, what am I thinking?
You've only seen it once though.
Well, I've seen it in pictures.
Oh shit, yeah, pictures.
In those
But in
pictures,
person, you
in
would have
those
only seen it
pictures, you
once.
just sit there and go, "Oh my god, that chin has no presence. No presence.
It didn't.
I'm having a drink.
It's got some presence now.
No. Well, actually, I was going to say, James Harden, but you might not know James Harden. He's a basketball player.
Okay, yeah. No.
Known for a big bushy beard.
Okay, yes.
Used to play for the Rockets.
Okay.
Now is playing for the Nets, or was playing for the Nets at some point. I don't know who he's playing for now.
Yeah.
I could look it up. I'm not going to. It's James Harden. If you're watching this and you don't know who he is,
look it up.
His name's James Harden. He plays basketball professionally. He's quite good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were playing NBA back in college.
Yes.
And so this would have been pre-2016.
Yeah.
And one of our friends walked in, and he was a med student, and he looked at James Harden and went, "That guy didn't have a beard." Like the model of James Harden in the game. He just looked and went, "That guy didn't have a beard. He'd be ugly." And then just walked out. Just like, that was a weird statement. And then we pretty much spent like a week trying to find pictures of James Harden without a beard, because we were like,
yeah,
well, now we got to know.
Fair.
Was he ugly? Is that why he grew a beard? Although that's kind of like a thing with professional sports. I'm going to say that again. I was going to say professional sports athletes. Like, don't need one of those words. Oh. That's the thing with professional athletes. A lot of them, very ugly. They would not win any prizes for being handsome sons.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Very skilled at what they do, though. Mm-hmm. So they get a lot of money.
Yep. That's very true.
Don't become a model.
Yeah, no.
Alright, it's not something you can switch between.
No. Some of them can.
Some. No, you've got...
Not many of them.
Well... It's one of those things. There's not many of them, but that's because there are quite... Like... I know it's like, people are like, oh, you've got to be incredibly lucky to be for professional sports. No, professional athlete.
Well, it's not really lucky. You've got to be skilled.
Well, you got to be skilled, and you got to be in the right kind of situation where your skills can get noticed. And there are luck elements in it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But the truth is, there's also a lot of professional athletes. I was going to say professional sports athletes again. I don't know if I'm like, when I start talking, I'm thinking like professional sports persons.
Maybe.
But professional athletes is the word that I would use. That's the vocabulary that I would put out there when I'm talking about it.
Yes.
You want to be a professional athlete? I don't know where the sport's coming from. Anyway, professional athletes, there are quite a few of them actually out there. Like way more than you would think.
Yeah, yep.
And
that's fair.
When you have such a large population, they're not all going to be lookers.
No.
Just look at a large population, like people.
Yeah.
Some of you are handsome, some of you are ugly. Some of you are just in the middle. And people don't say, oh yeah, that person's really handsome, or that person's super ugly. You're just there.
Yeah.
In the middle. Not being overly offensive. But no one's like picking you out and being like, that's the one. And that can be good.
Could be, yeah.
If you're super handsome, people will remember you. So if you try and rob a bank, you're in trouble.
Point, yeah. That is a problem.
If you're super ugly, people will also remember you, but the chances of them like remembering your details is like, oh god, he was ugly.
That's pretty much it.
He was an ugly son of a bitch. What did he look like? Oh, so ugly.
So,
okay, but can you describe him so we can draw him well? He had an ugly nose.
I can't really give you too many detailed detailed descriptions. And the question would then be why, and then it's like, I had to look away.
God, he was ugly.
I wish he was wearing a mask over his face.
Wait, was he wearing a mask? He might have been wearing one of them monster masks.
Maybe.
Anyway, the point that I was making... What point was I making?
Athletes not becoming models?
No,
that wasn't it.
Oh, Kris will have a mustache with his weak chin.
God damn it! I hate shaving this off. I really
but you'll do it. You'll do it, and you'll love it.
I'd have to do it for the 100th, but it won't happen again.
It's okay. The 100th is like a year away.
Yes.
We're technically more than a year away.
Yes.
It's still like over 70 weeks away. It's still over 7. It's just under 70 weeks away.
Yes.
It's a year away from a date that's sort of in the future, but not that far in the future.
Yes.
Channel news. Is there anything else in channel news? That was really high pitched. Was there anything else in channel news?
We went over the extra subscriber.
Yes, new subscribers.
Which we got the next day. After the last podcast.
We may have actually got it the day of the podcast. That week. I didn't check it till the next day, and I was like, oh, look, a new subscriber.
I did the same thing.
But subscribers tend to happen when videos get released. Tend to, not always.
Yes.
So the likelihood that it happened on a Wednesday is higher than lower.
It's true.
Although they might have just been an outlier and just watched one of our videos for the first time and been like, I like these idiots.
Yeah.
I'm going to be number 20.
Yes.
And number 20 they became.
Yes. Yes, they did.
What was that? Oh, yeah. So, moving on.
Yes.
Let's get a little serious.
Mm-hmm.
A lot serious.
Okay.
No, we're like too serious. Let's stay medium level serious.
Okay.
Tears of the Kingdom came out. New Zelda game. Follow on to Breath of the Wild. I have made my feelings on Breath of the Wild clear on this podcast before.
I
think it's a fine game, but people give it far too much credit because it has a lot of bad systems in it.
Correct.
So, Tears of the Kingdom coming out. I have bought it. No surprises there. I buy over again.
Hasn't played it yet? Unless he plays it tomorrow. In which case it was yesterday.
No, I haven't. No, because I'm not going to play it until I at least finish the story of Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not going to finish the story of Breath of the Wild until I get the fucking Master Sword upgrade. I'm not going to get the fucking Master Sword upgrade because that's really fucking difficult.
So you're not going to play the game?
I think that's what I just said, yes.
Yeah. No. You just own it, but you're never going to play it.
Yes.
Okay. I see your logic.
Yeah.
It's not good logic, but it's logic.
No, it's great logic. It's just terrible consumerism.
I mean, it is. Okay, fair. Okay, I see your point.
The logic is solid.
See, I have finished the story, so I can play it.
Oh, well, that's nice. Do you own it?
No.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. That's why.
Hold on. Let me just take your Switch with me.
Not down here, little boy.
Damn.
So Breath of the Wild coming out. I haven't played it yet. So that's the disclaimer. Although I have looked up a few reviews on it.
Yes.
And, you know, I showed Kris one of them, which is a less fanboy one. Because there are a lot of reviews out there that are like 100% fanboy, which is like, it's pretty much more Breath of the Wild. It's brilliant. The best game ever. And it's like, but Breath of the Wild wasn't that great. Breath of the Wild has some really good elements.
It does.
But it also had some absolute rubbish trash.
I like the track they were going down, but not the execution of it.
Look, I think there was a lot of things people complained about that I was just like, no, this isn't a complainable issue. Like, weather effects. Don't complain about weather effects in games. Most games that you pay full price for now have some kind of weather effects.
Yeah.
Be it, you know, GTA. GTA is known for weather effects.
It is, yes.
You know, it's part of what makes a game feel like an actual game.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, but we don't... Weather effects are fine. I don't really have a problem with that.
No.
My biggest problem all stems from the durability system. Now, I've played many games that all have durability systems in them, but by far Breath of the Wild is the worst.
Yes.
Mainly comes down to two things. There's no backup for if you lose all of your weapons in a fight, which is possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's... The durability is just whack. You know, like full on like, hey, yeah, you got one of the best weapons in the game. You got about 10 hits with that bad boy. Yeah,
good luck.
10 hits. So that's absolute bullshit. And getting new weapons. Because as you go further and further into the game, the mobs get harder, which means you need better weapons to take them down, which means that if your weapons break while you're trying to advance the story, you can't just be like, okay, I'll go back to this light area, use the crappy weapons that I have left, you know, I'll find a rusted sword along the way. kill the easy mobs, get some better weapons, and build back up. No, it's more like, okay, I'll go back. Oh crap, they're super high powered enemies.
Yeah.
I don't have a weapon.
So they just, instead of having areas that had, this is the strength of the area. That's all there is. Like very much like Dark Souls. This area is set. They are this strong. That is it.
How many minutes in was that Dark Souls reference? 21.
20 minutes.
21 minutes before Kris mentioned Dark Souls.
Oh, we knew it was going
That's
to
a
happen.
record.
We knew it was going to... Hey, I don't do it in every podcast. But anyway, it's like they're set like that.
So
this one's just like a whole map. The whole map is set to the level you're at.
Yeah. Or above that. Anyway, no, the point is that that was whack.
It was.
Like, probably the worstest a minute. And from what I've heard from someone who I think is quite reliable on the review front, so they're not going to fanboy, and they will say it how it is. If they enjoyed it, they enjoyed it, even if it's a crap game. Like, that's the big thing about it. I don't buy into this thing where it's like, oh, this game is crap. There are crap games that you might enjoy.
Yes. Quite a few, actually.
Yes. But, like, you know, just because you enjoy it doesn't mean that the game is good. It just means that you enjoy this rubbish.
Yeah.
It's fine. No one can, it's not an issue. You can like games that are bad because they have one redeeming factor. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we watched a review and, there was good stuff, bad stuff. A lot of the bad stuff kind of came down to the fact that the guy was just like, it's pretty much just more Breath of the Wild. So, is it really worth the price of a whole new game?
It's pretty much just a DLC to it. It's like what it sort of sounded like, but with the DLC being the length of a full game.
Yeah. But he does mention something that is that the weapon durability has gotten even worse.
Yes. His words.
And that worries me going forward because it was already whack. Like, it was already some of the worst weapon durability I've seen in games that people rave about. Like, there are games that have worse durability, but people go like, oh man, no, this game's rubbish.
Yeah.
And like that point can be what says that the game is rubbish. Like, the game is rubbish. The durability of items is just ridiculous. Like, you have to inflate the game that pretty much made the weapons shit so that you have to constantly go around getting new weapons.
Yes.
However, when it came to Breath of the Wild, people just ignored that fact that was exactly what it was doing and sung its praises to the world.
Oh, they did. Indeed they did.
And, I think part of that is the fact that it had been a while since we had a really good Zelda outing.
Yeah.
So people were just happy to be back playing Zelda.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that. He also mentioned, and this is where I'm going to hold out and say, okay, this might actually be better than Breath of the Wild, because he mentions the crafting system.
Yes.
Now, the durability being whack, I can't stand for. It's ridiculous. However, if you have the ability to craft weapons,
yes,
that will satiate some of my problems because I can carry the materials I need to craft a new weapon craft a new weapon when I need it. He also mentioned that you can increase the stats and stuff and change and give weapons elemental by using this new crafting system. So until I play and I actually get my hands on attempt at this crafting system, maybe that'll elevate it above Breath of the Wild to me. But at the moment, it's like...
you hope so.
Yeah. At the moment, from what I know about it and from what I've seen, it's definitely below Breath of the Wild because, and I know a lot of people are like, oh no, but it's part of the game, man. That weapons durability system was so whack that it put Breath of the Wild, a game I was... like, the game that I bought a Switch to play...
Yes, that is true.
It put it in what I would consider average titles.
Yeah.
I like it, I'll play it, but it's not one of the best ones. It's not sitting up there with The Witcher 3.
Nope.
It's down in the middle of the pile where it's like, oh yeah, if I get time, I'll play it. You know,
pretty much what I did.
Yeah, and it's like for me those top games. These are games that I will go back to and play and be like, oh, I want to play this game. And you know, they're the likes of Persona 5. Love that game. It's just dripping with style. The Witcher 3, obviously.
Yeah.
Original Halos, gotta go.
Yeah.
So like those types of games where you're just like, oh, I haven't played this in a while. I'm gonna go back and play it. Whereas Breath of the Wild for me, and it's only because of that durability system. I feel if that wasn't in there, it would have been elevated higher. Probably not to like the likes of Witcher 3, but definitely higher. Definitely up in that top tier of the games. That like it would be a game I'd go back to and be like, oh, I love going back to this game. Maybe not right at the top, but in that like top tier.
Yeah, because while I was playing that game, I had a goal of something I wanted to do, which was I was specifically looking for the Dark Link skin.
Right.
Don't know why, but I was. I gave up on that because I couldn't go back to the game.
Right.
Because I finished the story, and I have no reason to keep playing.
Yeah. And that's the problem. Like, a game that's really good will bring you back even when you finish the story, even when you know the story.
Yes.
You'll come back, you'll give it another go.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
But yeah, so there's the thing, Breath of the Wild. So, you know, unless this crafting system is like and alleviates all the issues I had with the durability system in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom's going to go below Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
Because like, and you know, you might disagree with me, but I like an open world game.
Yeah. To
an extent.
Yes.
I like an open world game where they say to you, go and explore, do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, here's your story, here's this, here's that, here's the rest of it.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, if you want to find it, you know, you can find it. I hate an open world game where it's like, hey, here's the open world. Ooh. We really spent a lot of time on this open world. Please explore it. Here's an idea. We'll force you to explore it. That I can't stand.
Yeah.
As someone who's played a fuck ton of Skyrim, because every now and then I'll uninstall it, then reinstall it, then reinstall a bunch of different mods, and then play it with those mods, then uninstall it, then reinstall it with a bunch of different mods. And then I played a lot of Skyrim. There are places in that map I've never been, because I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
I
don't care.
Okay, we're looking at 28 minutes. So Elden Ring does the same.
No. This guy.
Ooh. I had to do it.
Do you know about Elden Ring? I like Elden Ring.
Look, I had to do it because of the comment you said earlier. It had to be done.
It's just on repeat with this guy. He's always talking about Elden Ring and Sekiro and Bloodborne and that Dark Souls.
Actually, have I mentioned Sekiro in a podcast?
In a podcast, I'm just talking about real life.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
This guy.
I'm just saying, you don't have to fully explore Elden Ring either to finish the story.
No, but you know, that sort of thing. Like, it's the issue with a open world, right?
Yes.
Because I don't know. I feel like everyone's just like, "Ooh, we've got a big open world too," and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Now, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yes.
Grand Theft Auto 5 for me is the epitome of this because it has one of the biggest open worlds.
Does it?
It's pretty big. All things comparative.
Okay.
It's a very big open world.
I know it's a big
open world, but I don't think
it's the biggest. At the time
it was released, it was the biggest.
Oh, at the
remember,
time, yes.
It's also got all the underwater shit.
That's true, yeah.
I'm talking about GTA 5, not GTA Online.
Yes, yeah.
It's bigger. Not many maps compare, especially considering you compare human sizes, man.
I mean, true, yeah.
Okay. Sorted.
I'm still
what map do you think is bigger?
I'm just
remembering that.
Like, it's none of the Dark Souls games. They're not overly big. I mean,
this is a game you can get in a jet in.
That is true, yes.
And it still takes you time to get around the map. In a jet.
But I'm unsure as to whether that's actually just because it's big or they limit the speed of a jet.
Well, they do, but also Elden Ring only has a horse. Horses are a lot slower than jets.
I mean, yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm
just
aware
saying.
of that.
Just saying, relatively speaking, horse. Not as fast as jet. Jet.
Okay, look.
Fast. Horse. Horse speed.
Okay, yes, true. I'll concede on it for now. The only thing I can say is GTA's it does also have a lot less in it.
Oh yeah, it's completely empty. It's horribly empty open world.
Oh yeah.
But that was the thing. They went, we've got the biggest. Not the best, the biggest.
Oh yeah.
Because there's so little to do in that open world. Occasionally you'll come across like one person and you'll be like, hey, I've got a funny story. It's like, oh!
I don't care, bye.
That's why I was driving around this map for like 15 hours. To find one guy who's more than just... I was gonna say a meat bag to run into with a car, but you know, that's what most of the pedestrians are in GTA. Scaredy cats.
Yeah.
They're literally there so that when you start causing mayhem, there's something to run away from you.
And chase and punch them, or with that particular weapon, hunt them down with an axe.
Especially considering that they don't give you as much money anymore. So they're not even walking ATMs anymore, like they used to be in the older games. It'd be like, oh, I need some money. I'll kill a couple guys. Okay, now I got $1,000.
Now it's like, hey, I'll kill a couple guys. I have $50.
I have. Oh well, that guy gave me $1.
Oh,
which is more realistic. Let's be fair.
It is,
but still.
Yes.
What? Do you know how much the bullet I shot you cost? $1. God, I'm gonna shoot you again. Just. Now I'm really broke. No, yes. But so it was probably done for a reason. I think about that to kind of less to less incentivize you to just go on random acts of violence.
It's true.
But then they gave you Trevor Phillips, whose whole character is random acts of violence. So
that is also true.
It's almost like, hey, we're disincentivizing you from killing innocent pedestrians.
It's also never stopped.
He is a crazy character that's just whose whole character is killing random pedestrians.
And it works well with us because we have online we have gone on random rampages.
I do all the time. It's it is what it is.
That's what we do.
Occasionally I just start shooting at Kris because I can. Occasionally I'll take away Chris's protection.
Yes, he does that. And without warning.
Just
the warning I get is a bullet to the back of the head.
It's pretty funny. But yeah, so like, it's my problem with massive open worlds is that they are very empty.
Yes.
Because the bigger you get, the harder it is to put stuff in them.
It's true.
Yeah, because like The Witcher 3 doesn't have a very big world map.
No,
it's not massive.
No, I'm aware it's not massive,
but it doesn't ever feel empty.
That is true.
There's always random monsters popping up, or soldiers, or bandits, or
there's always something.
There's something happening that you're like, okay.
Or like me on the first day of playing and still really.
Actually, you might be right. Assassin's Creed Ragnarok might have the largest open world now.
Oh yeah, it could do.
It's got a pretty big one.
Yeah.
But on saying that, it's a very empty one that has a lot of like, oh, go to this point and check it out. And you get to that point, it's like, yeah, it's a lookout point. Look out! Oh, look, you've opened a part of the map, so you can see all the more points that we've. Assassin's Creed games, they're crazy.
Oh, yeah.
There's just so much happening. You're just like, I've got to.
I feel like definitely like Assassin's Creed 1, while you're actually in doing missions, had a decent map that didn't feel as empty. But going between
the world was and the flags were rubbish. The world was just a place to force you to spend more time in the game. It's kind of like one of those funny things where it's like, you want to play the game? Well, we're going to force you to do this really boring thing to make you really want to play the game. Because when you run through the fucking emptiness of between the cities,
which was boring as shit.
you really were like, oh, I'm almost at the fucking city, or I'm almost going to get to go do the good part.
Or
which
you'd
in
be like,
wasn't
oh shit, I'm
that
still nowhere near the city. Because it was slow. And you were on a
And
horse.
they fixed that in Assassin's Creed. Well, it only goes at horse speed.
It does.
They fixed that in Assassin's Creed 2.
They put too much space
Where-
into it.
It was like, less.
Yes.
Less? Yes, you fast travel between cities. So there were like outer limits of the cities where you could ride a horse around and shit, but then there was the...
Yes, and that was good. I enjoyed the fact that they did that.
And then they did that even better in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Because
Correct.
there was just one city.
It's true.
It was just a bigger city.
Yep.
And then there was Assassin's Creed 3.
Revelations came first.
Yeah, no, but I don't really count Revelations. Revelations was a massive disappointment in all aspects.
To be honest, the first time I played it, I finished it in a day.
Yeah,
There wasn't much to
big
it.
disappointment.
Yeah.
Big disappointment. And I'm fairly sure unless you did something very specific, there were no revelations in it.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Yeah.
And again, I played it once, and it took me a day.
I like some of the
rent
changes
your
that they
games.
Oh, okay.
That would
Weirdo.
I was in my cousin's place.
Weirdo.
This is back when I lived in Mackay. No, it wasn't.
It wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't.
Assassin's Creed 2 came out when I was in year
Either
9.
way, I was there.
It came out after that.
Yes, I was at his place for the holidays, and my auntie said, "Yeah, you can rent a game," and we decided we'll rent that, but she only rented it for a day,
Okay, well,
and then we finished it.
then it's the perfect length for you. I don't know what you're complaining about. No, but
I was hoping that we wouldn't finish it, so that I would then go and get it to actually finish it.
so yeah, Revelations wasn't the best. But
Unless the biggest revelation from that game was, why did I buy this game?
that's not really a revelation. That's more of a pondering.
I suppose.
Which is the opposite of a revelation. One's a question, one's a
Yeah,
answer.
it's true. I had something else in mind. It's just
Yeah, you
I
failed.
forgot it
You
immediately.
fucking failed.
I fucking forgot it immediately.
Assassin's Creed 3, again, I'm a bit of an Assassin's Creed 3 apologist. I didn't mind it.
No, I agree. I didn't
Connor
mind it.
sucks, don't get me wrong. Compared to Ezio's swagger, Connor is a shit protagonist.
Yes.
But the world, the story, the shit you can do, like, blows my mind. Assassin's Creed 3 had a whole town building thing going on.
Yes, it did.
Which a lot of people just overlooked. And I was like, no, this is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. You can build up your armor down.
Yeah, doing up the houses.
Get a cool sword. Get a cool armor. That kind of shit.
I enjoyed it. And then I heard from other people, it's like, oh, that was a crap game. I'm like, what the hell did they find that?
Honestly, I think for me the worst part of Assassin's Creed 3, the sailing parts. The parts on the boat.
That is the part I absolutely hated about it, which actually put me off of getting Black Flag.
No, Black Flag was brilliant. I don't know
That's what I mean. I never got Black Flag because of the sailing.
But Black
Flag.
Edward.
Yes.
Fixed all of that because they gave you the sailing in a wide open area where you could actually take full advantage of it.
Okay.
And they made it a reason to have it. Like in Assassin's Creed 3, you're generally like, oh, we're sailing out to this little coastal part, we're going to do a naval battle, then we're going to...
But it's a really tight area.
Whereas like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which is one of the best Assassin's Creed, Edward's still not as good as Ezio, but gameplay is far better.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's kind of what I was hoping they would fix up in the Ezio collection.
Yeah.
I feel they could have done a little bit more to bring it in line with that Black Flag.
You would think so.
For some reason, I just can't say Black Flag. I keep saying Back Flag.
Back Flag, eh?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think as far as gameplay goes, definitely one of the best. The Assassin's outfit isn't as cool, so that unlockable Ezio.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have Edward rocking that.
Yeah.
And he looks dope.
Hell.
But they made the ship sailing parts more than just a hassle. They made it the best part.
Yes.
And they expanded on the building and the customization stuff.
Yeah.
Like building up the jackdaw, building up your little secret town. That stuff's brilliant. I love that.
Yeah. Maybe I'll play it.
You haven't played Black Flag?
No. As I said, legitimately...
It is considered one of the best Assassin's Creed.
I'm aware.
You have played Syndicate, Unity.
I haven't played Unity.
You haven't played Unity. You've played Origins.
I have played Origins.
You've played Odyssey.
Briefly.
You haven't played Valhalla, but you're not missing anything there. Valhalla sucks. Like, Valhalla might be the worst of all the Assassin's Creed, and that's saying something.
Oh, geez.
You definitely haven't played the new one.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, no, Valhalla had a lot of stuff that I was just like, oh, this sucks. Because, like, I think I got, like, 10 hours in, and at 10 hours in, I'm sitting there going, oh, okay. I think I've just finished
Valhalla that I played a bit of, but I didn't play a bit of the other one.
One is set in Greece, one is set in England. Very different settings.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember which one was which.
Both have boats in them.
Yes. It is. It is Valhalla.
Although I will say this. Okay, so I haven't played much of Origin.
I've played a lot of Origin.
I didn't like the new changes.
That's fair. A lot of people
didn't like the new changes. But
I didn't mind them too much, but then again, I was really into Final Fantasy 15 as well.
Okay. And
they actually had a lot of references in that game.
That's weird.
Yeah, no, they did. You went to a certain point at a certain time, and what you thought was a comet came down, and it was actually the main enemy from Final Fantasy 15. Yes. It was a weird thing. Plus, if you actually...
I could probably go back to Origins and enjoy it because I love the crap out of Odyssey. Though I always did have one massive problem with Odyssey.
Yeah.
And Origin.
Okay, yes.
Together. Origin had shields.
It did?
Odyssey didn't.
Oh. Well, see, the thing about Origins is you weren't an assassin to start with.
You weren't an assassin at all in Odyssey. Because Odyssey is set before
you're not
Origin.
Too, yeah.
You're literally...
Because you don't become an assassin in
no, you don't even
Origins until the very end.
You don't even have a hidden blade in Odyssey.
Oh, shit, I didn't notice that.
You just use the Spear of Leonidas.
Oh, that's right.
Which is like a shorn-off stabber.
Yes. Yeah.
Brilliant game. And I think that's part of the reason I liked it so much. They took away a lot of the assassin-y stuff, and you're just like, I'm a badass fucking warrior. Also, if you do play, why
it was still assassins.
If you do play, because technically you do meet the first assassins. You do meet assassins. You meet the people who became assassins. Because Bayek is actually from Cassandra's line.
Yes.
And that is the actual way you should play Odyssey.
With Cassandra, yes.
Cassandra. And there were so many things I disliked going from Odyssey, which I think is one of the better games in the series, to Valhalla. And one of them was that, in Odyssey, they should have just made it Cassandra.
Yes.
But they went, you get to choose, you want to be Alexio or Cassandra. Well, they fixed that problem. Because a lot of people started playing as Alexio, and then when they heard other people being like, oh, Cassandra's great, they went, oh, I don't really want to go back and restart the whole game to play with the other person. Even though I do believe that Cassandra was the better player.
Yeah.
I just think the story goes better. God, and we're back. And in the time that we've been gone, I have once again had a slight stabbing. This time, though, not with my knife, which is here, open. I was using it to scratch my toe. No, what happened is I accidentally stuck tweezers into my hand. I am accident prone.
Every time. Jeez. So what were we talking about?
We're talking about how Odyssey's great.
Okay, yes,
But there's a big problem that I've had with it. Yes. Which is that in Origins you had shields. Odyssey you didn't. The Greeks were pretty much known for their way of fighting that used a massive shield. In fact, one might even call it a massive fuck-off shield.
Oh. The best kind of shield.
What you got there? Oh, a shield? Oh, what kind of shield? Oh, massive fuck-off shield. Oh, that's a shield.
He's still focused on his slide stabbing.
It's just right in the middle of the palm. Don't buy tweezers. Look how blunt these motherfuckers are.
Pretty blunt.
I'm not going to mention to do that. Look!
That would have been a lot more than a slight stabbing.
Could have even gone up to a stabbing.
Could have. Oh shit, that's fine.
Yeah, and then how Ragnarok's just Assassin's Creed
Valhalla.
Ragnarok is is a DLC for it.
Yes.
And Valhalla sucks. Like it just sucks. It's bad. It does have shields. Again, the only game that missed shields are the people that were really known for using shields.
Wait, the first one didn't have shields, did it?
Odyssey had shields? No, Odyssey Origins had shields.
Not Origins, the first one.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about the 3 because they're a trilogy.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Yeah, but I found that very odd. It was an odd call. But yeah, so
yes.
Origins is... I never got into it.
Okay.
I could probably go back and play it and probably enjoy it because I enjoyed Odyssey. However...
You did occasionally get to fight a god.
You didn't do that in Odyssey.
You did it in Origins.
You got to fight a Minotaur, and
I only fought
Medusa.
2 of the gods.
Technically a Gorgon.
I fought Anubis, and I can't remember the other one.
And then Valhalla. Right, I actually remember the thing I chose. We were talking about.
Okay, sweet.
How it was in Odyssey, you had to choose one, and a lot of people chose Alexio, even though there should have been no choice. It should have just been you play as Cassandra.
Yes,
because she was the better option. Don't fight me on that one. It's just true.
Story-wise, yes.
That's the only thing where it matters.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said story-wise, yes.
They didn't have different abilities. Yeah. And then, they went, we'll fix that problem that people had by letting you, in Valhalla, literally change the character's gender willy-nilly.
Oh.
And I was just like, that kind of takes all...
That's odd.
That just kind of takes all of the choices out of it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we don't know if it's a male.
So they did Syndicate okay, and that's just they used both genders. But they were also twins, I believe.
Well, see, I have a problem though, right? Because the reason they're like, you can change whenever you feel like it to better fit the story that you want to tell was they're like, oh man, the DNA sample's too corrupted to know whether it was a male or a female. But not corrupted enough that it corrupted the genetic memories in the DNA. It's like, wait, wouldn't that be... Wouldn't that be destroyed before the gender thing?
You would think so.
One of them is necessary to make a person. The other one is the mumbo-jumbo that you guys made up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either way. Valhalla's not great. I didn't enjoy it. Okay. It took away some of the things that I didn't like in Odyssey and Origin.
Okay, yeah.
The constant weaponing. The constant changing of weapons.
Okay, yes.
Because you'd be like, bam, this is better. Oh, bam, this is better. There was one type of this weapon, one type of this weapon.
Okay, yeah.
I think, I can't remember exactly, but it was like, there was one axe in this type and there was another axe of this type. And you leveled them up instead of constantly getting new ones.
Okay.
So the weapons became a little bit more rarer.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
It works.
But
Origins definitely did the chop and change.
So did Odyssey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
However, you could upgrade in Odyssey as well. You could make your weapons better. So there was also that. So
I believe you could in Origins, but you still generally found something better. It's just you upgraded it from what it originally was.
So I think Odyssey kind of fixed that because you could up the damage output to the level you were at.
Yes.
But it was really the a slot like the parts of the abilities the weapon gave you that you were chasing. So you wouldn't have a fucking legendary spear and be like, boom! Oh, this spear does more damage, so I'm swapping it. Yeah. You'd be like, no, this is my fucking legendary spear. When it's no longer killing, I'll level it up.
Okay, yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and as I said, I could not get, like I said, after 10 hours of Valhalla, I felt like I was only just now through the prologue and the get to know the game stages.
Then again, I swear to God, games these days, the prologues are getting longer.
Well, they are.
They
but I was like,
definitely are.
I'm like 10 hours and I'm just through to that point. And there wasn't a lot really keeping me in the game at this point. And then it was like, hey, off to do missions now. And I'm like, okay, off to do and I was like, oh, these missions are boring and repetitive and it's really just...
That's irritating.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So
I suppose it's also the downside of going to like massive open worlds. Is you run the risk of doing that.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with all open worlds. So there's issues when people go like, oh, we've got an open world. And to relate that back to Tears of the Kingdom, what we were talking about,
yes,
they have a large open world. Haven't played yet, so we're yet to see how good it is.
Yes.
But let's put it this way. When I was playing Breath of the Wild, a lot of it felt like empty space.
Yes, it did.
For no reason. Like, oh yeah, there's empty space here because we need more distance. And yeah.
Do we want it to be a massive open world?
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of just open space for open space's sake.
And so if you're going to do open world, just add stuff as it's needed.
Especially considering.
I think that's the better way to do it. Add as it's needed.
Yeah.
Not so much just like, this is the space we want, this is how much we need, fill it.
Yeah. Well, my other big issue is that I am a giant Legend of Zelda fan. Like, I love the games.
Yes.
And we have Link's Awakening. We have the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. We have the Skyward Sword.
Yep.
And some of the really early ones.
Yes.
Now all available on the Switch. Excellent. Lovely. I love that. Great. There is no Majora's Mask.
Yeah, I was waiting for you.
There is no Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yes.
There is no Twilight Princess. These are my 3 favourite Legend of Zelda games. And you can't get them on the Switch. And I'm just like, why?
And we have all of the others.
Nintendo, just release Switch ports of them.
Yeah.
You already got a brand new looking Ocarina of Time from the 3DS.
Yes, you do.
Can we not just port that to Switch and remove the 3... Maybe we can't remove the 3D elements and that's why it hasn't happened.
Maybe.
But get on putting that into Switch because people will buy it. Yes. Ocarina of Time is one of the most loved ones.
Yeah, that is true.
I want a full remake of... Not a remake, I want a full remaster of Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, let's put some time into it. Let's make it right. Let's bring that crazy, wacky, crazy thing back to life.
Yes. And then I'll play them for the first time.
Twilight Princess could probably use a graphical overhaul.
Yeah.
But, like, look, it was the Wii era. I can't tell you how good it actually would hold up.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with kind of cartoony graphics, you've always got more leeway.
True.
And then, of course, the other one that I really, really, really want them to fucking put out is Wind Waker, because I never got to play Wind Waker.
Oh, yes.
And apparently it's fucking great.
Okay, yes.
And I want it. And they're sitting on this Legend of Zelda thing that only them have. They have them. Only them have. No, only they have this fucking well of money printing material known as the Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
And they're just like, no, you can't have it. No. Mm-hmm. Oh, you guys really want the Wind Waker? Oh, you guys really want Ocarina of Time? Fuck you can't have it. No. Have Tears of the Kingdom.
No, we don't want your money. But we do. We really want your money, but don't. We don't.
We want your money, but we want it when we want it, not before we want it. Mm-hmm. And we will tell you when we want it.
Here's another game. Not the one you asked for, but here's another one. We know you'll buy it.
So yeah. So I look, I'm going to hold off completely saying that Tears of the Kingdom is below Breath of the Wild in my book.
Yeah.
Until I've actually got some hands-on time with it.
I feel like the crafting could make it a bit more fun.
I feel that way too. I feel like that crafting could really push it up. And apparently it's... don't quote me on this, but apparently it does run better on the Switch. because Breath of the Wild technically had to run on the Switch and the Wii U.
Wait, it did?
That's what I've heard.
I didn't think it went to the Wii U.
I don't think it did either.
I thought by the point that was out, the Wii U had sort of
But
died.
I believe that's what happened, but during the development process,
they would have been working for the
They
Wii
would
U
have been
as well.
making it for the two, because that's generally what happens. Like, Twilight Princess came out on the GameCube and the Wii.
Okay, yeah.
Skyward Sword come out for the Wii and the Wii U?
No.
Needless to say, generally the big name Zelda cards go on
2 systems.
Yeah, go on the system that's the brand new one, because it's a Nintendo thing.
Yeah.
They tend to release it with the new system.
Yes.
And the old one. So you get like one last taste.
Yeah.
So whether or not it actually came out on the Wii U, I'm not sure, but I definitely believe that was a consideration during the development.
Yeah, that would make more sense. But as I said, I don't think it did, because I thought by the point that it was coming out, because I didn't get a Switch straight away. It was actually quite a while before I got a Switch.
Same here.
And I still got the Switch before. No, actually, no, I didn't. I got it just after it came out.
Okay.
Which is still a point. Like it had already. I said I could have sworn the Wii U had already well and truly died off.
The Wii U pretty much died off the second they released it. Let's be real.
It lasted a little bit. Like they tried to keep bringing it back with a few things, but it just didn't.
I feel the Wii took the world by storm, and the Wii U kind of died pretty quickly.
I believe
like, considering how much
it
trouble it was to try and get a Wii in the first couple of years of it coming out.
True.
Because everyone wanted one.
Yeah.
And then, like, the Wii U was just
still easier than it currently is to get the next gen consoles, but
the Wii U was just kind of like, hey, you guys want this? And people were like, not really. And they're like,
it's here.
It's got Mario.
Pretty much. It's got Mario. Hang on. We have Pokemon. Because they did put in that tournament one. What is it, Pokemon tournament?
I don't care about Pokemans.
I'm aware that you don't. But
yeah, so, like, I don't know, as I said, I'm going to hold off my full level judgment until I've got some hands-on time.
Yeah.
But if it's anything like Breath of the Wild, it's not going to be a game that I sink so much time into.
Yeah.
At least so much time out of choice.
Yeah.
It could definitely be a game I sink a lot of time into because you have to get things done.
Which you
and that'll probably
you're soon gonna have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna let you know the final boss fight is not hard.
Odyssey. Why didn't they have shields? I just don't understand that. Ubisoft, what the fuck are you playing at?
I can't answer that question. I have no idea.
It's just weird. It blows my mind.
Oh yeah.
Greeks were known for their shields.
Were indeed.
But yeah, no, I think, you know.
Wait, did none of the enemies have shields either?
No, the enemies did have shields. Yeah, because you had to... I think the enemies had shields. You just didn't.
Maybe they were trying to go to a point of just showing how strong the character was, and like, he doesn't need a shield.
She.
Sorry, yes.
Honestly, should never have been a choice.
It shouldn't have been a choice, yes. But maybe that's where we're going.
But yeah.
Maybe.
Also, best two Assassin's Creeds.
Yeah.
The old ones of the old system.
Mm-hmm.
Black Flag.
Yep.
Of the new old system. Odyssey.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then we're gonna have to see what this new one is. Can't remember what it's called. Assassin's Creed Maharaja.
Oh man, it's been ages since I've seen anything.
I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look it up because I want to actually know. I like the word assassins. Mirage. Assassin's Creed Mirage.
It's funny, I platinumed Syndicate while asleep.
What?
What are you worrying about?
Release date.
When is it?
Don't know.
Oh.
But it's just like the very first thing was like you can buy it from Big W for $69. And I'm like, I'm not.
I don't think it's out yet.
That's my thought. I'm pretty sure Big W doesn't do pre-orders.
No.
They're not known for it. But, so I went to this first little box and I was like, its release date it hasn't been told. It's just in 2023. So apparently Big W are doing pre-orders. Big W, what are you playing at, son?
I think they're just trying to keep their gaming side of things going.
Big W, what are you playing at?
they barely have a gaming side of things.
No.
See, Kmart did the smart thing.
Just got rid of it.
Just got rid of it. It was pointless to have.
To be fair, that is the way we're going.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to go to a game store to buy a game for the same price I could buy it online.
That's why EB Games is starting to go into the pop culture side of things as well. It's so that they
especially considering that on the console side, I can have it the second it's released.
Yes, and or if you don't
Although
do it that way, you've got to wait at least 12 hours.
And the other side of it is, for Big W at least, they don't have what EB Games has, where they have like, hey, it's a sale, hey, pre-owned, hey, this, hey, that. So like, I'll walk into EB Games.
No, that's true. Yeah.
And be like, oh, you're having a sale, 50% off selected games. I'll have a look at said selected games. Oh, I've actually been interested in this, and it's 50% off. So it's like $20. Yeah, I'll spend $20 on this game. And I play it, and I'm like, hey, it's not great, but hey, I paid $20 for it.
Well, yeah, that's it.
I ain't complaining.
So they have their sales, but it's like 2 times a year, if that.
Yeah, and then it's like, hey, you want to buy this game? We took $10 off. It's like their game has been out for 15 years now.
Plus, having said that,
$10 off.
A lot of the range they do carry,
shit.
They're shit. Well, they're shit for us.
No, they're the game. They tend to be kids. Well, not. There's not only that. Last time I was in Big W, and I actually looked at their games. It was like this. They had kid games, but then they had like the big releases. It was like, I've already bought that. I don't give a crap about that. So
So they get the big releases.
What they probably should be doing is looking at their buying power and trying to get things like controllers and peripherals and all that kind of stuff
to get the accessories,
to get
and
the
not
prices
the games
down, and like use your buying power to get those prices down so that you're more competitive. So it's like someone's like, oh, I want to buy another controller. Oh, it's $100 at EB Games. Oh, Big W is selling it for like $80.
So the only reason I actually look at like Target for games?
No, that befuddles me. I have no idea why you would even do that.
Because it's generally always cheaper than JB Hi-Fi or EB Games. And I also can't be able to drive over town, so I just use this little known fact that I go over to EB Games if I'm going to buy a disc and go, hey, Target has it cheaper, and they price match it.
Have you heard of Amazon?
Well, yes.
They deliver it to your door.
I'm aware. But it's like, I've literally saved...
Oh man, Target is cheaper. Fuck you.
I've saved like $40 on a game just because I was like, yeah, Target has it cheaper. And they're like, oh yeah, no, that's fine. Because... And this was back when buying things online were only just sort of starting when it came to gaming.
Amazon.
Yes. Yes, Amazon. I know that. I do use Amazon now.
Yeah, like that's the only reason I use it. Like the only time I get physical copies is because I bought them on Amazon. And it's like, why'd you buy it on Amazon? Because it was like $40 cheaper.
Well, this is still when it was still more expensive to actually buy it off of those. Right. Like your cheapest place was to go to Target.
Right.
Or in turn go to EB Games and tell them that, hey, Target has it cheaper. If you went there often enough, they'd go, yeah, no, don't worry about showing us. We trust you. It's fine. Or it'd be someone that you're a bit rarely in there and you'd have to show them.
This is a very unique kind of problem. I would just walk into EB Games and be like, okay, that's your asking price? No. I'm going to JB because I know theirs is about $10 cheaper.
Yes, that is true.
And then you walk into
I
JB
did the same
and
thing.
Like, thank you.
I did the same thing.
Would I look at Target to see? No, I would just be like, no.
It was more so.
No.
I think it was Nick one day told me, he's like, Target's got it cheap. He's like, oh, I'm going to fucking Target.
No. Well, Target. Fuck you. How about that?
Fuck off. I'm not going to Target.
I don't think Target have a gaming section anymore, though. I think they went the way of Kmart and just.
I think they have now
because it was like.
But
it's. I don't think it's a very sustainable business idea.
I
think you've got to kind of go like down the comic book road, like what EB Games has done. Because like you think about comic books, right? Comic books aren't a very profitable business.
No, they're not.
I mean, you're not a mainstream, and you're selling comic books for like $20, and you've got to buy them for a price. You're not making big bucks.
It's true.
What you make the big bucks on is the paraphernalia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think gaming's about the same, and that's kind of what EB Games have done.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the game side, and here's all of your nerd-related stuff.
Yeah.
Because they make so much more money on you walking in and being like, I will buy this statue of Iron Man.
Well, on a technical, that is still two different companies.
Are they?
Yeah. Zing and EB aren't, like, as much as they're in every EB game store now, they might have a corner, but Zing has its own stores as well.
Well, yeah, but I thought they were owned by the same people.
Well, they might be now. Initially, they weren't.
Interesting. But yeah, so like, yeah.
Zing's more, I think it's pop culture. And pop culture initially decided to try to get into stores by going into EB. And if you were to go to places like Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, they'd have their own Zing stores, which was the pop culture store. But they work with EB Games because...
I don't think I've ever seen a Zing store that didn't have an EB game kind of connected to it.
There's one in Brisbane.
Even when I was in Brisbane and Sydney and stuff.
There is one. There is one that is just purely Zing and nothing else.
I remember walking into one that had Zing signage, but it still had the EB Games section.
The one I walked into, specifically just pop culture, it had no gaming in it.
Interesting.
And that, well, don't remember, that was about that would have been about 4 years ago now. It would have been near when Zing started becoming a known thing.
Zing Pop Culture is a division of EB Games Australia and GameStop.
There you go.
So they might have had their own stores, but they've always been a part of EB.
Okay.
But yeah, so like, yeah, they make way more money off you buying a $300 statue of Iron Man than they do of you buying a game.
Oh yeah, easy.
So,
well, they make a tiny bit of money, but still more off of the figurine.
Oh yeah,
or statue, whichever one.
Yeah. So,
because they've started going board games. Well, they started selling a lot more when it comes to the gaming side, like gaming chairs. You can get your computers from them if you wanted to.
That's all stuff that you kind of need to expand into if you want to be in that gaming area. But then I think mostly, honestly, the Zing in shopping fair, Stockland.
It used to be shopping fair, yes.
The Zing in Stockland, I literally walked past there and go like, oh yeah, we've expanded the Funko Pops.
Oh yeah, yes, they did.
Oh, we're expanding them again. They've gone from having like a shelf to an entire wall.
Well, no,
nice.
In the original EV in there, it was a corner. They had a corner. Sorry, not the original one, the second one.
Yes.
They had a corner. That was it.
Yes.
And then when they came over to here, they had the back wall, and that was it.
No, they didn't have the back wall at first.
When it was Zing, they did. When they opened up that one, because it was half Zing, half...
They didn't have the full back wall. They used to be on a shelf in the middle, and the back wall was board games and...
Oh, no, that's right. They changed the wall.
They changed the wall.
It was still on a wall, but it was the one where the board games are now.
No. That was...
That was it.
That was T-shirts.
Which they've now moved to the other end, yes.
Yeah, they've changed that store around a lot because...
Yeah.
Again, Funko Pops. Everyone buys Funko Pops because even people who are only sort of into pop culture walk in and go like, oh, it's the Funko Pop of my favourite thing. I'll buy it.
I could have sworn they went bigger with the Funko Pops when they went to that store.
Oh, they did.
Bigger than just one of those.
It was an entire double-sided shelf. But that was it.
I thought it was more than that.
Ooh. That was it. That was their.
Whereas now then they expanded to just the wall. Now they've expanded to the wall and a double-sided thing.
Yeah. Now I'm just kind of like, oh, so.
And they got the bigger one sitting on the floor beside it.
Why don't we just call it Zing Funko Pops? I get really annoyed when people like go like, oh, you know, Funko Pops sell a lot. We've got like 3 displays of them.
No, even JB
board games.
Hi-Fi.
We're cut down all of our board game selection to like 3 games.
Whereas JB has expanded their board games, but they've also expanded their
I actually
Funko
haven't
Pops.
ever seen board games in JB. I haven't been there in so long.
Oh, yeah, they're back over near where the anime is now. Anime's on the back wall, then you basically...
Yeah, I haven't been in there for... You know what used to be on the back wall the last time I went in there?
CDs.
Guitars.
Oh, shit, it was too. Wait, I'm calling it the back wall, but I actually mean the side wall.
Oh, well, yeah, that was
the side
CDs.
wall, which where all the CDs were. There's now you go up a certain...
Because anime had like one little shelf. Well, one...
It was in the very
half
last
an aisle.
It was half an aisle in the very last aisle. Now it's actually on the side wall.
Mm.
And if you go to the aisle that's right beside it, it's like one side of it is board games. So they've got a whole side of the aisle.
I might have to go check that out because I do like board games.
They also now have like a whole side of the aisle for Funko Pops as well.
I'm going to go there tomorrow. I'm going to go there and just see what board games we've got. Not because I want to buy a board game. I'm not going to buy a board game. I just want to see what kind of selection we've got. Are we dealing with like the EB Games new selection where it's like, do you like Monopoly? What about Cluedo? We got Monopoly and Cluedo.
So that's
oh, you like actual board games? Oh, no.
So that's a solid half of it.
We got rid of all of that. We got rid of those.
So half of it is just the like Cluedo Monopoly because it's always going to be the biggest section of it, and then the other half.
Anyone who looks at me and says, "I like board games. I play a lot of Monopoly," I smash a glass in their face.
Yeah,
that's why I'm not allowed in the mall at Rockhampton anymore. And I have all those glass things. Me. I like board games. Oh yeah, what are you playing? Monopoly. Motherfucker! That's not a board game. That's rubbish.
On a technicality, it's a board game, but fuck off. We both own Monopoly. Just
I own many copies, of it, but it's not a good board game. No.
But no, definitely, it has the section where it's got like Betrayal and a few other. Okay. Yeah, I know it's got a few. I think it's got a couple of things you have. Plus, it's got a section with just card games as well.
I hate card games. That's not fair. I don't dislike card games. They're not my favourite.
They're fair. That's fair.
They have their place. Everything has its place. Oh, fucking Monopoly. He hates Monopoly.
He does. But he owns multiples.
Yeah, man. Gotta get in there. Gotta own those unique Monopolies.
Yes.
But I hate them. God, I hate them. No. See, again, I don't have a problem with Monopoly. Monopoly has its place.
Yes.
And that place is a quick game. After a quick game of friend-destroying potential.
Oh, yeah.
Monopoly.
Which also has the potential of being a long game.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
If you want to play a long game, you play poker with me. Specifically, you play poker with me. Texas Hold'em.
Why specifically with you?
Oh, because I have a tendency to just start dropping chips everywhere and then finding them later. So, like, I last time I played Texas Hold'em, I accidentally lost half of my chips.
How?
And then, because I wasn't being very responsible with them.
Clearly.
They're like, oh, this is 50. Oh, shit, where'd that 50 go? Oh, no, I need to play now. And then every time they're like, okay, Darcy's down to his last chip, I'd be like, yep. Oh, like a chip. Like, where do you keep fucking getting those? I won the game.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was completely out of money about 6 times, and I'd be like, oh, look, 1 chip, and then I win the hand, and be like, I have money again. They're like, fuck you.
That's fair. That's very fair.
And the game went from like 6:30 at night to 3 a.m. in the morning.
Jesus Christ.
But if you want to play a really long game, you play a game called Mage Knight.
Oh, I've heard about it.
We played it for 24 hours. Not straight. We didn't play it for 24 hours straight. I went to bed.
That's fair.
After like 11 hours, I was like, fuck this, I'm going to sleep. They're like, okay, we'll just pick up tomorrow. And I was like, okay, we'll pick up tomorrow. And then I came back and it was another 13 fucking hours. And I was like, are we done yet? And they were like, oh, well, we could be done, but technically, I went, no, we could be done.
I like that.
Sounds like we're done.
We're done.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to play a really quick game? You play Risk, but not with me.
No.
Because I am a builder. That's why they call me Darcy the Builder.
They don't call you that.
And then after that, they call me Darcy the motherfucker who keeps destroying all of my armies. Because why did we let him build up a giant army? How did he get 40 fucking soldiers in one fucking turn? Who let this happen? And then everyone of the boys like, oh, well, he was just kind of minding his own business and not doing anything. And I'm like, yes, I was.
I came close to winning once.
Do you have a problem with that?
Came very close to winning once.
You did.
Yeah, because you just happened to get 2 chips on one turn, and on my next turn, if he hadn't have got 2 chips, I would have won, because I went first.
However,
it didn't happen.
It's like when we played Halo, like Risk.
Oh, yes.
And then we got to see what Darcy can actually do. He's a monster. The man is a monster.
Yes.
Kris in there, minding his own business.
I need to actually just learn. I need to focus. I do focus in games with you, but it's very difficult to win. I have played another game of Risk with someone else, and I just could not concentrate at all, so I did lose.
See, the thing is, you don't need to concentrate to win against me, but you do need to know that I'm always plotting something.
I'm aware of that.
And a lot of the time, I don't even know what my next action's going to be.
Sometimes,
it's like, this is my plan. How do I get there? Yet to be distinguished.
I'm pretty sure, is there a game we played with more than just Sam?
Yeah. We played Risk Legacy. We played Halo Legacy. No, Halo Risk.
Yes.
A game I own that many copies of.
Yes. He's not joking. Yes.
No, well, not Halo. I own multiple copies of Risk.
Yes.
We played Halo Risk with Ethan and Herman.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And then you were behind me, so you were like, everything's going good, and then I turned my guns on you, and everything.
I knew you were going to, though.
Oh yeah,
that's the thing. It's like, I knew you were going to take guns on me.
But you couldn't do anything about it.
I'm aware, which is why at a certain point I just started working against the other 2, just to let him win because I knew I didn't have a chance.
Oh no, it happened.
I had the chance to be able to take them out, just not him.
My friends in Sydney, who I honed my Risk skills against.
Yes.
We have some of the craziest games.
Yeah.
Like, I have lost entire armies fighting a single guy on multiple occasions in one game. Like, one dude was just like, my friend had one guy in Afghanistan, and I was like, army of 20, attack, and I lost all of them. And I was like, okay, rebuild. Army of 20, attack, lost all of them. And I was just like, I'm not attacking Afghanistan anymore.
So last time I played Risk, the same thing happened. It wasn't against you, but the same thing happened.
Mm.
It's just, I
just got really unlucky.
I was actually doing really well. Also, the annoying thing is there was actually only 2 of us playing.
Right. That always hurts.
And I went second.
Right.
Which hurts a little more. Because it meant they started with 1 extra territory.
And then another game, a different one of my friend pretty much made Fort Australia. So he just blocked how you could get into Australia and then just kept reinforcing that line as he spread out slowly. So it pretty much came down to me or him who would win.
Yeah.
Because the other 2 friends had been caught between the 2 of us. So they were being destroyed by both sides. And they're just like,
how unfortunate.
You got Fort Australia, impregnable, because it was Risk Legacy. So he had all the buffs that made him literally so hard to bust through his lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then on the other side, you had Darcy, who, you might break my first line, but you would not get into my homeland.
No.
And because you couldn't get into my homeland every turn, I was gaining something like 12 reinforcements. And I was just like, okay. So I was like, Darcy can destroy us with pure... So yeah, it literally came down to the 2 of us like crushing against each other and being like, who can get the points first?
Yep.
Oh, and also because in that Risk Legacy game, I was a little bit of a turd burger. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a wee bit.
Okay. Yep.
I always got to have 3 nuclear missiles.
Oh, what? Jeez.
And they're like, this is unfair. I'm like, no, this seems fair.
To you, yes. Fucking hell.
Like, this is all good. And they were like, so when I say it was a turd burger, like, there was a fight I was not involved in. It did not affect me in the slightest. It was happening on the other side of the world. Each one used a missile on each other. And I was just like, I'm going to help out Shanty. There's a missile, Shanty. And I used it on one of his dice, and everyone was like, you did the thing that you weren't supposed to do, because there's a rule in there. It's like, if 3 nuclear missiles are used in the same battle, this happens. And they're like, you fucking did it. And I was like, yes, I did. Live with it. The other thing that happens, because there's 2 massive world-changing events in Risk Legacy.
Yes.
I activated both of them.
Okay. So what happened with 3 missiles?
Oh, you pretty much destroy wherever that fight was being done.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And obviously the nuke does the same thing.
They are the nukes. Nukes are the missiles.
Oh, okay. We're just good at... Okay.
But I just got to start every game with 3 of them.
Oh.
Where most people get like 1. So it's like, I could literally be like, throw away. Like, everyone else is there being like, if I use my missile, they use their missile. Unless I'm defending, I lose.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, I'm going to use my missile. Because I have so many. And they'd be like, oh, do I counter? No, because he's got more than me.
Yeah.
he's literally, he's USAing us right now.
Yes, you really were. Oh, man.
But yeah.
That's...
Fucking Monopoly.
Yeah, it's difficult versing him in Risk.
Spectre Ops.
That's a fun one.
I love that one. Also difficult to play me in that.
It is. Indeed it is.
I like board games.
I'm aware.
I'm very good at them.
Yes.
I'm also a dick.
I think it's card games that I stand more of a chance against you.
I don't play card games.
Yeah, and that's why I stand more of a chance.
I would be fine with more card games if they had boards and pieces. And were board games.
So no, what was the one that we keep playing?
Love Letter and Coup.
Well, yeah, no, they're the 2 that I actually have a chance of winning.
We don't get to play them as much as I would like.
No.
It's because our friends are morons. Play more Love Letter and Coup. They're very fun.
We literally took it to one of the... I think you took it to the last...
No, I took them to one game thing. The one thing, but then we just never played.
Yeah.
Because everyone was just drinking.
That is true.
And they're not like my cool friends in Sydney who used to drink and play games. They're like, no, we're drinking and chatting and listening to music. It's like, you can do all of that while you play games as well.
You can, yes.
No, but we're going to play Cards Against Humanity. It's like, Cards Against Humanity is fine. It's a fun game. It's quite fun.
A Love Letter and Coup.
See, my problem with Cards Against Humanity is it's overplayed.
It is.
So it's like,
it's overplayed, so you get used to the cards.
You get used to the cards, and when you always play with the same people, you get used to what they're going to play. You're like, oh, who's got this card?
Or what they enjoyed more.
Yeah.
That's more so what you sort of get used to. So I joined a game of Cards Against at one point, and my mate turns around and is like, you've got a very dark sense of humor. It's like, okay, in my defense, I've only picked up cards that have very dark sense of humor notations to them. Just because this is my sense of humor doesn't mean you should judge me from this game.
Yeah, no. But also at the same point, I've had one play in Cards Against Humanity where someone played the perfect combination.
Yeah.
Because it was just so accurate.
Yep.
There's nothing can be said about it. It was just like correct.
Yes.
Correct. You win. That is correct.
It is.
And that combination was something plus something equals something. And they played the Jews plus Auschwitz equals genocide. And I was just like, you can't beat that.
No, you can't. It's true.
What can you do with that? That is factual.
That is, and if you're versing Kirsten in that game, that is how you have to verse her in it.
Factual.
Because she, like if the card doesn't make sense, but another one does, but the one that doesn't make a lot of sense is the funniest one. The one that makes sense will win.
So, but I don't mind that because that's part of the fun of Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
What I do mind is the fact that like people just have like, oh, this card always wins for me. That pisses me off.
Oh yeah, no,
that pisses me off because sometimes I love the crazy outsider.
Oh yeah, so do I.
I think one of my best ones was just someone played really cool hat and everyone was like, oh, but I played Nazis, I played the Jews, I played this, I played that. And I'm like, yeah, but in this...
What a really cool hat.
Like, in this scenario, I think it was High Five, bro. I think that was the card. And, like, someone was like, oh, but I played this card. I can't even remember what it was, but it was, like, one of those, like, super rude ones that everyone's like, oh, that one's a winner. Oh, because it's super rude. And I was just like... No, like in this situation, a really cool hat. High five. I was like, you can't beat that. That is, like, that is the funniest fucking thing. It's like, no, but I played this card. It's like, yeah, but that card wasn't funnier in this situation.
Yeah. See, I won with that card once, and I said to everyone else, like, guys, don't play anything that's because I knew the other person's sense of humor. So I was like, guys, don't play your best card. You do not have this. So a mate who's got the black card turns around and says, you're not winning. I don't care what you play, you're not winning. At which point, I won with the fuck you, take it, and he threw the card at me.
Yep. It happened.
Because I played literally paralysed from the neck down. High five, bro.
It's pretty funny. But no, that's what I mean. Like, I hate when people are like, oh no, this card wins for me, man. This card wins for me. Or like they go like, oh, but I played this card, it should win because it's like the rudest and it's the just most insane one. It's like, no, because situations change.
Yeah.
Just because you have the Pac-Man card doesn't mean you're going to win. The situation has to be right to play it.
Yes.
You know?
That is how it goes. If you play something that's got dark humour against me, there's a higher chance of you winning. But as Darcy said, a really cool hat will also do it.
It's just got to be, you know, like, it's just got to be, to me, the funniest one I pick up when I read it.
Sometimes a slight chuckle wins everyone laughing. Yeah. Everyone's laughing.
Like, sometimes...
I'm laughing with everyone else, and then all of a sudden it's like a really cool hat. A really cool hat wins.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, but, like, my thing is, like, I'll be sitting there, right? And, like, this is my thing. Like, I think Cards Against Humanity, because it was such a sensation, has really been overplayed in friend groups. And, like,
yes,
when we played in college, it was okay because we lived in a college with, like, 150 people.
Yeah.
So, like, you might have the same group, but you would always get people like walk past and be like, oh, can I jump in? And you're like, yeah, grab a hand, come sit down.
Yeah.
And be like, awesome. And then, so you always had a little bit of variation going around.
Yeah, so it wasn't...
But in, like, set friend groups, there's not that variation. So it's like, oh, you've got this sense of humour, I'll play to that. You've got this, I'll play... And so it just becomes...
easier to
tedious.
Win. Yeah.
It becomes work.
It does, yeah. No, it does.
But yeah, no, as I said, my thing with Cards Against Humanity is that I am a loose cannon. And I go for whatever makes me the happiest in that moment.
Yeah.
And so sometimes people will play Absolute Gold, and I'm just like, but this just makes no sense. And I love it. I love the fact that it makes no sense. You win. Have it. Have it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, want my cards? Take my cards as well. You get everything. And like people are like, but that's not the funniest one. It's like, but I don't care what you think, because this is my turn to be the judge, and I judge this as the best.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
But yeah, and then other time, and like, you know, occasionally you get like one where you throw away a burner because you're just like, this is rubbish,
and it's the one that wins.
Because it's just, you know, sometimes everyone just loves the fact that things are you know,
it's like everyone will go, it's just a throwaway. And then
actually, you want to know probably my biggest problem about playing Cards Against Humanity here with the group that we generally play it with?
What?
Half of them who have played it many times still don't know what half the cards fucking mean.
Oh, yes. I hate it.
Yeah.
That's why I disliked the first time I played it with my auntie and cousins.
Yeah.
Because we got to certain cards and I have to explain this to them.
Yeah.
And it's weird explaining it to your fucking family.
Yeah, I just, you know,
so
the cards that you're like, oh, this is fucking hilarious. and then they read it and go, oh, I don't know what that is, so I'm just gonna ignore it. And you're just like,
see, what I didn't pay attention to, this first time I played with my auntie and my cousins. So my cousin's boyfriend was there, and his friend was there. English was their second language.
fuck.
So I put down something real good. I'm like, oh, this will win in any situation, and he couldn't read it properly. So I didn't win.
Yeah. Anyway, my whole point there is that, they play Cards Against Humanity too much. Play Coup, play Love Letter. They're great games.
Yeah, the frequency of you being around there, it does get played quite a lot.
Coup.
Coup is good. Coup is good. I do enjoy Coup. As I said, I do stand a chance against Darcy.
Oh yeah, but that's because, okay, most of the time we play Coup, everyone fucking hates me in it. Because they're like, you're going to win, so we're going to attack you. Focus on killing Darcy. It's like, fair enough.
I don't even focus on killing you. I just... When it's... So every time like I play with Jimmy and Sam, it's Sam trying to fight against the two of us because, well, let's face it, it's one of us that's going to win in that case.
Dude, I love Coup. I love Coup though. I love Coup though because it is the only game where every single round I can be something different and no one can. And everyone's just like, "But you said," and it's like,
I know what I said.
Do you want to challenge me? You feel free.
And most people go, No, I don't.
I fucking love that though. It's like, I'll take my Duke tax. I'll also take my Duke tax. I'll take my Duke tax. I'll take my Duke tax. And then it's like, I'm going to inquisit with my Inquisitor. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It's like, wait, didn't you say you had a Duke? Oh, didn't I not? I have all the cards in front of me.
All of them.
They're all right here.
See these 2 cards that I have all 5 in my hand.
All of the cards are in my... I have all of the cards. But you only have 2 in front of you. All of the cards. Pay no attention to that.
You get to enjoy it and sit there and not call against it. I think I called against you once, and I did win that one.
I fucking love Coup.
It is great.
I'm going to kill you with my assassin. I'm going to block that with my Countessa. Okay, I'm going to take my Duke tax, and I'm going to attack you with my assassin. Wait, did you say you had a Countessa? I said a lot of things.
But in reality, when you say, it's like, didn't you have a Contessa? It's like, he probably did. He probably also had the assassin. The one he probably didn't have was the Duke. Quite often, the Duke.
What are you talking about? I always have a Duke.
Everyone always has a Duke. What are you on about? Everyone takes the Duke tax.
I'll take my Duke tax. I'm going to embezzle. Wait, didn't you say you had a Duke? I don't recall saying I had a Duke. No, I absolutely
do enjoy it. It's fun.
I love Coup.
It is fun.
I do want to play Spectre Ops as well. Again, that's a great game. But as I said, unfortunately, I'm probably the biggest board game nerd here.
Yes, you are.
Which is weird because I never used to be. Like, with my other group of friends, I'm like the least board gamey.
Yep.
And then here I'm the most board gamey. And like, it's like, I would love to play games. And it's like, oh yeah, this person plays games. And then it's like, okay, this is my game. It's like, that's far too common. I play Monopoly. And on the board gamey side, I'm second.
I
love board games. Okay, I bought this board game. It's really cool. It's called this. Here's what you do. Oh no, I play Monopoly. So, do you have any glass in this house? I just ask.
So I think we can get Lucan to come into board games.
Maybe.
Jacob as well.
Maybe.
Jordan, no. If it's complicated, it's a no.
But he's the best at maths.
No, yes.
But he's the best at maths.
If it's anything other than Risk or Monopoly, Jonathan is a no.
That's not surprising.
Yes, because it's too complicated. So he's a no. If Simon was here, Simon would be yes. We could invite Simon.
Anyhow, thank you for joining us, guys. As always, we have. Well, I'm out of large beverage drinkers.
It wasn't warm lemon this time.
No, it wasn't. It was iced tea, but it is in a glass cup, just in case I run into someone who plays Monopoly. I just fucking hate when people are like, "Oh yeah, I play board games." Oh no, I've never. No, I only play Monopoly. It's like, you don't play board games then. You play Monopoly. You play Monopoly.
No, that's literally all you play.
Yes, thank you for joining us. I'm out of drink, so as far as I'm concerned, that means that we have run our course. We've reached the end.
That's fair.
Everything is done.
Dusted. An hour and a half.
I didn't talk about half the stuff I was hoping to talk about, but again, that's pretty standard to us because we get easily distracted.
Oh, so very
easily. But as always, I have been Darcy. Here's me, Kris.
Yes.
Yes.
I have.
This has been the Unnamed Podcast. Thank you for joining us. If you liked, please like, share, subscribe, comment, show a friend. That's what sharing is.
Let's do that.
And until next time, we will catch you later.
So,
yes. Goodbye. Have I given you permission to?
No.
Well, that's what the contract says. I'm sorry to say.
I haven't signed a contract at
That's
this
what
point.
you think. Oh, that's even worse for you. Slave labour.
Oh, shit, it is too.
Mm-hmm. That's not entirely true. Oh, actually, it might be. I did feed you.
You did.
You have to look at how that works.
Yeah, I think you will.
I have some research to do. I'm just really confused right now.
About?
Oh, everything.
Sounds right.
I don't even know what we're talking about.